How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be discussing the new anti-ban that's coming, automatic auto ban that's coming for Valorant. And this hasn't been ever before. Usually the bans have been manual by the Riot developers themselves. And before I start a video, I'm Fatman, I make daily Valorant content. But this is huge. I just woke up, so I decided to make a few videos. And I wanted to be talking about Valorant anti-cheat because that's what I really like talking about. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button because it helps me out a lot. But before, I tell you any more info, I want you to watch this clip I'm gonna show you.
Built and tweaked with the community as you go on. In my Twitter feed, a lot of people wanted to talk about, Vanguard and kind of understand that. And I know it's something that is probably a frequent question that you get about that. Maybe since, this is a wide audience and you can talk a bit about it, maybe just give us the philosophy of anti-cheat, why that's important and what that does and why that's needed, and just give people kind of an explanation, because I think there's a lot of kind of misinformation out there as well about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I think the most complicated thing about anti-cheat is people think, the most common misperception I would say I come across with anti-cheat is people think it's a one and done deal. Like you can create a wall that protects all cheats from coming in. But cheat creators are fairly sophisticated. They're pretty intelligent people, and so when challenged, they tend to iterate just like game developers do on the software that they're making. And so part of anti-cheat is creating a baseline that lets you continuously evolve your anti-cheat efforts on top of it. I would say our team is doing an excellent job staying on top of the problem and continuing to fight, but it's a long war we're going to be in as long as we're a service. And the best thing we can do is constantly stay vigilant and respond as fast as we possibly can. And we've learned to definitely do a lot more of that as we've gone along. Now, Vanguard as a specific anti-cheat solution is one we took that's slightly more aggressive than other solutions that exist, but it's because cheats these days can occur at almost any layer of programming inside of your machine, whether it be at the kernel level or the system basic level, or all the way up to a surface level. And so we want to make sure that we're creating a system that can prevent those cheats at every level from coming in and disrupting the game and disrupting the fairness of the game.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that, as you said, in order to get at the cheater, you obviously have to go, right to the core sometimes, because that's how they get in. And it's, I know some people, have, they're precious about their machine and sort of what access a game gets. But it sounds like one of those things where you said it's you have to be a balance, right? Because it's you want to keep it fair, but also you want people to feel like you're not invading them in some way.
Exactly, and we've done a lot of work to make sure that invasion is definitely not happening. We're not taking any data from their machine. We're just monitoring things that could be invasive to the game cycle. And so the actual anti-cheat system doesn't report actually anything back to us from the user's machine. It just simply is there to monitor for the purpose of the game. So
it's one of those things. It's everyone cares.
So what I personally think what's going to happen with the game is this game is going to need some time to actually offset. So it's going to have, a slight increase after the open beta. So it's not even beta yet, and the demand for hype was huge, right? Due to Twitch keys. Now that the hype has died down, also, every single channel has lost a few views. But that's okay. This game will take, at least 10 years to actually master, to be honest. It's gonna take 10 years to actually reach the market, just because how the market is big right now. And that's my personal honest opinion. So to be honest with you, what I think with them is they're very transparent. At first I thought, well, the rootkit was one big bullshit. And it seems like after reading their dev blog post this is not the case at all. It seems that we made a huge mistake. Everyone thought about the PC gamer thing, that this was a huge controversial thing, that they're selling all the data to Chinese, but they're not actually gathering any info at all. This info is not being processed, so your PC is totally safe. I have to say I was worried at the start as well that that it's all actually could be an exposable malware rootkit. But the thing is, they put a lot of cash in this. And they wouldn't, gather off data just to sell it off, while they can earn 10 times that amount from just making Valorant and making esports in the long term. So let's say the most possible scenario is Riot is some evil corporation from China, and they're gathering info and selling it off to Google. Now, what happens is, okay, so they do it for a year or two until someone finds out their info is being sold out, or some leak happens, or some employee tells something, and that's it. Valorant is reported everywhere on the news. Valorant is gonna die, of course. Valorant is not gonna have any tournaments, or it's gonna have very controversial ones. Now, for example, let's say they focus on Valorant for the next 10 years. What happens here is Valorant is gonna just get huge and grow over time. That's my personal opinion, and I definitely think they have nothing to hide. They have been very transparent. They have made updates that everyone has asked for. They have removed updates everybody has been asking for, and that's what really the key communication is. Not like with Team Fortress 2 that it takes like 10 years to actually work it out, if you know what I'm saying. So now that we watched the clip, is our anti-cheat technology ready? I wanted to read this article, and I wanted to give my personal own opinions. So we all know that wars aren't won overnight, which is totally true, especially when we take a very public stance against cheaters who want to win at all cost, but it's why we have a proprietary anti-cheat detection platform and dedicated team of engineers who will improve things over time. So this anti-cheat actually costs a lot of money. It costs like over $4 million. That's the basic number. It's a few million at least. So just for the anti-cheat, not for the Valorant game itself. So we haven't been perfect out of the gate, but owning our technology, it's what's let us be fast. So that's what they meant by that, for the rootkit stuff, and communicated in our development. What we're concerned about Vanguard being on all the time, we put in features so you can disable it until needed. When we blocked vulnerable drivers that cheaters were using to smuggling their software in, we also ended blocking drivers that were helping monitor the temperature of your computer. So we went back to the drawing board. At the end of the day, we hope iterations can be taken as examples on our ongoing conversation, which is totally true, here about maintaining the integrity of our games with their tenets about the journey and destination. So they said basically here, they're improving that, so there's gonna be less cheaters. They're doing this for a reason. So now the real question, has Vanguard been effective at tracking and deterring cheaters? Well, yes to the first, but deterring, not really. So, not yet. So, it doesn't really deter cheaters, it just tracks them. With Valorant being the grand unveiling of Vanguard, we've gotten a lot of inputs that help us understand what cheats and forms of cheating we can effectively deter on for our platform. So, I see a lot of cheaters anyway, and it doesn't really... The cheaters are still moving into the game, but during closed beta we've held off on deploying the second half of our tech and our auto-banning systems, because we needed this time to understand what to action on, especially when it comes to hardware bans. This will be different at launch. I think this is awesome. I can't wait for their auto-ban and hardware bans. Up to now, while we've been able to track and understand the inputs by which we identify cheaters, many of our ban waves have been manually reviewed and implemented by our anti-cheat team. So if you're watching stream highlights and shit, you'll probably see a lot of these clips, people just banning others. But come launch, we'll be more aggressive, widespread, and automated in our ability to detect and ban cheaters. As a final reminder, as with any game, our guarantee isn't that Valorant will be cheat-free, but it definitely makes, a lot of... It definitely is a huge improvement than before, because before you could just have any cheater, and what Valorant had to do is manually buy and watch each game. Right now, it's kind of working, and it's going to work with every single patch, which I'm really excited about. So we've been no slow here, but closed beta was a wake-up call. We're picking speed, so to intervene in destructive behavior. This is what I really wanted to talk about, to be honest. To handle reporting, automated chat analysis for blatant violations for our community code. So I'm guessing what this happens is someone tells oh, you're so trash, you're so shit, and then what he actually gets added to this, so for someone to inspect. So automated analysis of reports and escalation of common offenders for punishment, 72-hour team chat restrictions for behavior violations. That's pretty huge. Imagine not talking for 3 days in Valorant. Also commit to listening to community whenever you can, but I don't know about that. I would just, to be honest, I would say for toxic behavior, 3 days of no playing the game, because you still need team chat, right? So you're just gonna play in ranked without team chat? Come on. Please continue voicing your opinions via player support tickets, so they definitely want to be active. And this is it. Yeah. Anyway, I have more Valorant videos on my channel. If you want more, be sure to subscribe. This is Fatman. Sign out. Peace, guys.